Loud It Podcast.
Hello, Ankedu. Welcome back to another episode of Loud It Podcast. I am Nedinsa. I don't know why I did this right there. I don't know if that caught on camera, but yes, thank you for returning anyway. So let's get straight into it. Black people. Okay, come to the front. Come right here. You watching this, you included, come right here because we need to talk. We need to figure out, where are we moving to? Because in light of what's happened with the local elections in the UK, where are we moving to? We need to figure this out stat. And I know Nigerians, we're very unserious people. I saw what everyone's been talking about with the potholes, because apparently they're going to fill potholes with Nigerians, like melt us all up. And I've just been seeing the running jokes, and I can't lie, they're funny. They are so funny. I've been dying on TikTok. But we are very unserious, and this is serious matter. Wow. This is serious matter. At this point, my own borough let me down. Big time. And I shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't. Because if I go into stories of, things I've experienced here, at least not in recent, I can fortunately say, not in recent times, but in the past, I've had stories in the past. So I shouldn't be too surprised, but still, come on. Reform? UKIP? I'm still going to call them UKIP at this point. But reform? How? Why don't I live in Hackney? Why am I not with the Greens there? So we need to figure out where we're moving to. Black people, we need to do that. And I struggle, as a Nigerian, I struggle with this question because the people, our own in Nigeria, a lot of people are trying to japa. They've been trying to japa for some time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. And then I look at the UK, I'm just there like, okay, this is why the diaspora versus Nigeria, there's this disparity. There's this disparity because we are both dealing with different things. And I think there's that whole disconnect basically between. But yeah, that leaves, in terms of the diaspora in the UK, where to go? And then I look to the US. No can do. Also problematic over there. You got Trump. So where next? I know a lot of people are moving to Dubai. There was that whole uproar. And then what's happened recently, I think that's put more people away and off Dubai for at least a minute. Where are we going to? Should we do what the 90s babies were saying for years? Actually, it was Fred saying for years, buy our own island and restart. And while we're restarting that, let's talk about jobs. Let's talk about jobs because that's also a struggle. And we can't just talk about corporate world, because if you look at the influence of the content creator world, it's struggle over there too. In fact, let me find this thing. Did you see what the lawyer, that lawyer, Lizzie something, what she posted? And when I read that, I was like, wow, content creators are struggling too. So she says, this is it. Her at is Lizzie Baby 2. Let me not get into that. It's giving tag names from like old school. So as a lawyer who has repped large creators, the disparity in pay between Black creators and white creators is astounding. Agencies and brands need to be held accountable. I say agencies because a lot of managers and agents will lowball to close the deal instead of working harder to articulate the value proposition and advocate for the creators. Offering a Black creator with millions of followers $15,000, but a white content creator with 300k followers $200,000 and a brand trip. So it's not just the corporate world where people are struggling. It's also wormed its way into the creative world, which barely existed 10 years ago. Barely. Now let's get into corporate world, because that's my bag. My bag is corporate, right? And so what I've been looking into more recently is trying to help those who are studying and are basically trying to find their career those who are about to go into university and trying to figure out where should I go, and those who are currently in a career, a field, and they're trying to figure out how do I pivot to earn more, essentially. Now it's tricky because things have changed a lot more. You could go traditional routes, which is where I feel like well, at least for diaspora, generally speaking, our parents always wanted us to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, someone in finance. Like, they wanted those core staples because traditionally, and still until now, like on average paid well. Are those salaries moving with the times? Now I can't really say that all the time, but like that was the general consensus. But what we need to start thinking about now are those jobs that are high paying, low visibility, because I feel like everyone's going for those high visibility jobs. But there are so many jobs which are high paying, low visibility. And let me help you unpack a few. So look at train drivers. Have a look at their salaries online. It will shock. It will shock you. Yes. Train drivers, look at that. Look at jobs that are related to risk and compliance. The money resides. The money resides. Look at actuary, which I'd never really thought of at all. It came up when I was doing some research. Look at that. Look into actuary. Look at jobs around procurement management. Look into that. Procurement management, there's money there too. So there's a lot of jobs which I feel when you're going out on a random Tuesday, you wouldn't know money is there, essentially. Like a lot of sales jobs, especially, I mean, if you're good at your job, you can get big bread. You can make money. So I feel like people need to start pivoting a bit. Start looking at those jobs that are low visibility and you're still getting paid well. Now, the ultimate goal would be high paying, low input jobs. That would be fantastic, but I don't think we're quite there yet. Unless you're fantastic when it comes to certain things. Like if you're great with more tech related, like the tech industry has been booming for a while. So things to do with like coding, I don't know, like stuff about those things. I'm sure they're still paying well. So if you're good at that naturally, or you just enjoy it and you want to put and pour more into that, look into those jobs. Don't always look for the jobs that are just everywhere. Like there was a time of UX designers, there was a time of like, I don't know, just certain jobs which may now be like less well known, but at the time it was booming, and I feel like a lot of people started going towards those skill sets. But look into other areas. It's basically what I'm trying to push people towards doing more, because times are hard. And then I was looking also at what people are paid in the UK per age group, and it's a scary thing. It's scary. To me, these are scary numbers, like you're fighting. And I say that because I'm thinking about taxes. I'm just thinking about people with rent, of course, with mortgages, how we're surviving, because those things are going up, but the salaries, they're not going in the same rate. They're not going up at the same rate. So for the average, actually, let's start off lower. 18 to 21-year-old, average gross salary from Starling Bank. I was trying to look at ONS, Office of National Statistics, but I couldn't. So I said, let me just go for what's simple. So for 18 to 21, it is £24,394, which sounds okay starting off, especially if you're living at home. If you're still living at home with parents, you know, it's like, okay, cushy start. I think I started at, lower than that. So it's doable. And then age 22 to 29, it's £35,760 for age 22 to 29. At age 22, that's okay. At age 29, if you're living outside and you're paying rent, or you're trying to get onto the property ladder, you're making it difficult. That's hard. House prices are only going up. Rent prices are only going up. Food prices. I saw this guy talk about his bill for Tesco recently because he does online orders. The same exact order. In fact, he took a few things off. He paid one time, sometime this year, paid 1 week, it was £130, thereabouts. And then 6 or 7 weeks later, he made the same order, took a few things off, like he mentioned bleach and a few other things. So a bit less, but he now paid £170. Make that make sense. Because I feel like I'm crying. Our salaries did not go up. In those 6 to 7 weeks, our salaries did not match that. Nor did our rent and everything else reduce. Reduce. Yeah, anyway, let's keep on. So, age 30 to 39, which I feel like is closest to your prime in terms of earning potential. You're really getting there. It's £48,421. Age 40 to 49, it's £54,591. These are all stats from 2025. And then age 50 to 59 is £53,349. Age 60 plus is £46,794. So, yeah. You know how people online, especially my age group, my generation and younger, slightly older, slightly younger, are always talking about like, I'm earning 100k plus. There's always this whole 6-figure crew. According to stats, there aren't that many. So how is it everybody online is earning that? So don't put yourself down if you're not earning that, is what I'm trying to tell you. Because people are lying online. Don't believe everybody. I love when people do their salary breakdowns on TikTok. It's one of my new guilty pleasures. I quite love watching people budget their money because it gives me ideas. I'm just like, oh, okay, let me put my money in this type of pot too. Like, I've been getting a lot more into investing over the last year, especially. If you're not investing and if you do have even just a few pounds every month, I would suggest trying stocks and shares ISA, even using the cash ISA, or use some kind of savings pot basically that can give you some good returns, some good interest rates. Don't leave your money just sitting in a normal bank where you're getting 1 or 2%. Try to get the bang for your buck. Let your money keep on working even while you're asleep. I love that saying because it's very true and I finally understand it. Because certain stocks recently have been going up. So try to jump on board. I feel like I was very late to the game too. And it's always better late than never. So if you haven't started, definitely worth it. I personally think so anyway. And I feel like that's how the rich get richer and you see generational wealth. So yeah, definitely look into it and try to get yourself on that ladder. But when I see just the salaries via age group, it's quite disheartening. It's quite disheartening because then you look at average house prices, especially in London. If you are not in in a couple, let me just say that. If you're not in a couple trying to buy a home in London, it is quite difficult for the average earner to be able to get a place by themselves. And that's why you see a lot more people moving into the outskirts of London. People who have grown up and lived in London their whole lives, when it's finally their turn to enter and jump on the property ladder, they can't afford it because they have changed the rules. They have changed the rules and therefore it doesn't work with the current salaries anymore. And so you have to move outside. You have to go into the outskirts. I don't live in the central of London. No, so you have to do what you have to do. But that's it. Now, I've been meaning to also go into the actual factuals of student finance, student loans. This topic pains my heart. But let me just read a few things out because there are different plans. So I feel that a few people who listen to my podcast are older, majority are within my age bracket, and then there are a few who are younger. So I am going to cover the 3 plans that I know of. So student loan, like plan 1, plan 2, which is what I'm part of, plan 2, disgusting, and plan 5. So let's go with plan 1, what does this say? It says a Plan 1 student loan applies primarily to borrowers who started higher education in England or Wales between 1998 and 2011. Cool. You only repay 9% of your income that exceeds the annual threshold of £26,900. Yeah, so only repay 9% of your income when you start earning above £26,900, right? And I think there's a cap, like, I think they only pay for 20 years after graduating, and then it's wiped off, like their debt is wiped clean. I think that's what the rules are on that. But yeah, so that's Plan 1. And if you're Plan 1, you are loving life. You are so lucky. I look at my siblings, I'm just like, we're not age mates at all. I already knew we weren't age mates, but we are in fact even financially not age mates. Because Plan 2, let me just read. Plan 2, they want to kill us. The government hates us. They hate our guts. So Plan 2, similar sort of jargon at the beginning, but it's between September 1st, 2012 and July 31st, 2023. See, I started university in 2013. If only I started 2 years before. Why wasn't I the brainchild who went to university? At age 16, why wasn't I that child? Anywho, so you repay 9% of your income over a threshold of £29,385 a year. So once you're over that, then you start paying the 9%. This debt is wiped after 30 years. So you have to pay this for 30 years. And now I want to give you the breakdown of what I am owing. But let me get there. Give me a while. Give me a second. So that's plan number 2. Plan number 5, so which started if you started your course from August 1st of 2023 onwards, you were paying 9% of your income over a £25,000 with terms lasting 40 years. 40 years before cancellation. Sorry, I don't think I read that before. 40 years. I thought 30 was bad. That's mad. Okay, yeah, so it's only plan 1 that you actually want to be on. Plan 5 is, that's very silly work. Very, very silly work. But let me get back to plan 2. Like I said, Nedunso, I am part of plan 2. And when I went to university, I can't remember exactly the figure that I paid per year, because I remember mine wasn't the max of 9,000. Most people's degrees were per year, but mine was like 8,000. It was some weird, obscure number. But let's just say it was 9,000. And I did a master's degree. And mine was a straight master's degree. So I didn't have to do a bachelor's and then a master's, the traditional sort of route. It was a 4-year course, which I ended up with an MEng degree, a master's of engineering degree in chemical engineering, which I think you guys know already. So 4 years of 9,000, that's £36,000, right? That's what I should be owing. And I understand, sprinkle some interest, right? I get it. I thought one random, one sunny, bright Tuesday, I was like, oh, let me go and check and see how much I'm owing. Because at the time, I was trying to change my last name. So I thought, that's another thing I haven't changed. It's been a while. Let me just check and see what I'm owing. I've been paying for 10 years now. 10 years. Sorry, wait, what? No, not 10 years yet. Oh my gosh, I was going to say I'm old, but I am getting there. It's been 9 years, okay? Almost 9 years. But I've been paying for basically 9 years. What am I owing? And I'm going to log into the account with you guys. How about that? Live. Anywho, so as of now that I am on the plan 2, I am owing £70,980 and 8 pence. I remember when I checked this at the time, I was owing 71,000 and something. So clearly it's gone down a little bit. But I am owing almost double what my loan was. Didn't you guys say that this would just be like just a little bit on top. It's fine. You'll get the degree and you just pay it off. And don't worry, even if you don't, it'll write off. It'll be real quick. We were sold dreams. In fact, this should be illegal. And I know I had a debate with someone recently. I think it should be illegal to be able to sell Plan 2 to a minor. We were under 18 years old when we were signing up for this. Yeah, they were selling this to us when we were teenagers. The government was selling this to all of us. And when you deep it, because people in the government, at least the names we know of, they're earning well. And a lot of people in these high places, they're earning well. So when you think about it, their kids are going to university and they're probably not having a student loan. So it doesn't hit them. It just hits us. It just hits us. They just guided us into this, essentially. Because why did it even triple? Why is it tripled in terms of school fees from 3,000 Great British pounds? By the way, when you do, apparently that's a thing that millennials do. I'm clearly a millennial. But how did it even increase just from 1 year to the next? It times 3, from 3,000 pounds to 9,000. That never made sense even back then. But I was so into the system, and I can't even call myself first generation UK because I wasn't born here either. My mum was born here. Call that whatever you may. But essentially, I am part of my lineage where I'm one of the first few. Of course, my siblings are older than me, so I was about to say the first. That would be a lie. But I'm one of the first few to be studying in Obodoyibo, to be getting a degree. So I had to now, figure out and finesse things so I can do a degree where I can find a job that's well paying enough. And there's this whole thing of like your education, nobody can take that away from you. That was the whole mantra back then. At least that's what I remembered. So yeah, I found myself here and I don't regret it. I don't like Plan 2. I wish I could have been part of Plan 1. I think that's the problem. But I don't regret my degree. But I would have if I got some other degrees. I will be real with you. I will be so real. If I got some other degrees right now, I'm not going to mention them because I don't want to shame people. And be happy with your degree. But right now, me sitting here, I would not have ever wanted to get some other degrees, particularly those that are struggling to find jobs now in this present job market, because things are tricky. Things are so tricky. But Plan 2, I understand why people protest. I understand why people are on the streets in London protesting about Plan 2, because Plan 2 is a joke. It's not fair. And they really need to rewrite that. It doesn't add up. £70,000. And it's only going to go up. That's the problem. It's only going to go up. Yeah. Anywho, I'm going to have to end it here. Don't forget to, always give me the good things. Like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube listening to this and watching this. If you're an audio listener, don't forget to give me a 5-star rating. I would love that. Comments, you can even leave comments and reviews. Do all the things. And if there's any specific topic you want to hear my voice on personally, of course, you can always send me a DM. I now have a Loud It Podcast email too, which is louditpodcast@gmail.com. So drop me there. And yeah, I'll speak to you guys next week. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I feel like I've got a lot out of my system. But anywho, thank you guys for listening. I will speak to you guys next week. Bye!